Modern samurai games owe a massive debt to a title most players have completely forgotten: Onimusha. It wasn't just a fun action game. It was a silent pioneer, one that subtly shaped everything from the brutal precision of Nioh to the haunting atmosphere of Ghost of Tsushima. Today, we're unearthing its truly forgotten influence, and trust me, its impact is far greater than you ever imagined. When Onimusha Warlords launched in 2001, the PlayStation 2 was still a mystery box. Developers were experimenting. Players didn't fully know what next-gen meant yet. And then this game arrived. Set during Japan's Sengoku period, Onimusha blended real historical figures like Oda Nobunaga with demonic horror. That combination sounds normal now. Back then, it was bold. Samurai games existed. Survival horror existed. But a historical action game infused with supernatural demons, tight combat, and cinematic storytelling, that was new territory. Capcom wasn't just making another sword game. They were redefining what feudal Japan could feel like in a video game. Now, let's talk gameplay. At first glance, Onimusha looked like it borrowed from Resident Evil: fixed camera angles, pre-rendered backgrounds, deliberate movement. But then you fought. The real innovation was its real-time sword combat, and more specifically, the Issen system. An Issen was a perfectly timed counterattack. If you struck at the exact moment an enemy attacked, you killed them instantly. No button mashing, no mindless swinging. It demanded precision, calm, timing. Sound familiar? That philosophy, rewarding skillful timing over aggression, is at the heart of modern samurai combat systems. Nioh built an entire combat identity around punishing difficulty and precise counters. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice turned timing into an art form. Onimusha didn't invent skill-based combat, but it planted a seed: the samurai as a disciplined counter-striker, not a hack-and-slash warrior. That shift mattered. Let's talk presentation. When Onimusha released, players were stunned by its character models. The protagonist, Samanosuke, wasn't just inspired by an actor. He was modeled after Japanese superstar Takeshi Kaneshiro. Facial detail, motion capture, expressive cutscenes. For 2001, this was cutting edge. Compared to the pre-rendered character models of late PlayStation 1 titles, Onimusha felt like a generational leap. It showed what the PS2 could really do. Not just sharper textures, but cinematic storytelling. And that cinematic DNA echoes loudly today. When you ride through golden fields in Ghost of Tsushima, soaking in atmosphere, you're experiencing something Onimusha helped normalize: samurai games as prestige cinematic experiences. Not arcade challenges, not niche experiments, but big, dramatic, emotionally staged productions. There's another layer people forget. Onimusha evolved directly from early prototypes of Resident Evil set in Japan. But instead of pure survival horror, it leaned into empowerment. You weren't just surviving, you were mastering. Compared to Resident Evil, which emphasized vulnerability and scarcity, Onimusha let you absorb souls from fallen enemies to upgrade weapons and abilities. It kept the horror atmosphere, the eerie castles, the demons in the shadows, but fused it with progression and skill growth. That hybrid design, horror tension plus action empowerment, became a blueprint. Later games would refine it, expand it, perfect it. But Onimusha was one of the first to prove that historical Japan could be terrifying, cinematic, and mechanically deep all at once. Here's the thing: Onimusha doesn't get talked about the way it should. It doesn't have the ongoing franchise dominance of Resident Evil. It doesn't have the modern acclaim of Ghost of Tsushima. It doesn't have the hardcore prestige of Sekiro, but it connected those worlds. It showed that samurai combat could be precise and skill-driven. It proved feudal Japan could carry cinematic storytelling. It demonstrated the PlayStation 2 wasn't just more powerful, it was more expressive. Without Onimusha, the DNA of modern samurai games would look very different. So the next time you perfectly parry in Nioh or stand quietly in the wind in Ghost of Tsushima, remember the quiet pioneer that helped make it possible. Onimusha wasn't just an early PS2 hit, it was the blueprint, and maybe it's time we gave it the recognition it deserves.